Welcome everybody to the Daily Crossing. We have plenty of people traveling today. We're just about all over the place and dealing with this kind of weather that we got going on. But it's great to see some of the people that we always have collaborating with us. This is episode 54. I don't know if you know, but if you wanted to make over $100,000, Walmart is going to give you a path to make that happen. But anyway, we're going to jump in there. I just want to welcome into our conversation Alexi Smith, that is somewhere somehow made the choice to wait for the moment where New York was the coldest to go to New York, right? He said, you know what, I don't want it to be just a little cold. I want to make sure that there's like snow on the ground, icy, 20 degrees, barely or at least freezing. And also Lorena Pernalete, who decided to stay in warmer territories, right? I guess state of Florida. Guys, good to see you.
It would be about 32 degrees in Florida. Yeah,
Yes, it's probably
that's
it's probably, it's probably
freezing.
colder in Florida than it is in New York.
That is freezing.
Yeah,
I'm
and you know
telling
it's funny because we just came back from Texas before. I went to New
you. It was
York,
22.
and even though New York it was snowing for the last 2 days, it was way colder in Texas than
But it's part of it's part of global warming, right? It's like if it
El
because
Nino.
everything apparently is part of. If it's too hot, it's global
Yep,
warming. If
yep.
it's too cold, it's also global warming. I don't understand how that works or how everybody comes back.
It's El Nino.
El Nino,
El Niño.
El Nino or
Tell
El
me how
Nino.
old you are without telling me how old you are, Alexi.
It's kind of crazy, but the weather is
Outside is frightful.
pretty cold out there
Fire.
right now. But we just came back from New York, my wife and I. And I don't know. I kept asking. I said, "So explain to me again this whole global warming thing because I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't. It doesn't feel too warm out here. But anyway, guys, um,
Al
when
Gore
you
is going to come out with another movie.
when you're hearing Walmart, 100 is store managers have the ability to do anywhere from 117 to all the way up to now, all the way up to $128,000. Why does it come to mind? What makes you think? Just listening to what they're, obviously everything has pros and cons, right? And so what's great about it, and what will you be concerned about?
So there's a couple things. So I feel like it sounds good in theory, as far as you can make up to 120,000. But here's the thing. This is not every Walmart employee. This is only the managers, right? And then so you got to know that there's a way, way, way smaller number of managers than there is actual employees, right? So then number one, even though that may be good for some, that's not good for everybody who works at Walmart. It's like if you think of the average person who works at Walmart, how many of them actually make it to manager? I'm not sure what that percentage is, but it's not a big percentage of them. But to me, I'm glad that at least somebody has the capabilities to make over 100,000 at a place like Walmart. I think it's good, but I think it still doesn't solve the issue for most, because really everybody should be making over 100,000. But now it's only a small group, so I'm glad for that small group they can make over 100,000, but that's not going to be for everybody. So that's my big thing.
So I'm concerned that everybody should be making $100,000 that works at Walmart because that would be a big problem. But no, yeah, I mean, specifically to the store manager, here's the way that I process it is it's an adjustment to the cost of living, right? So if the cost of living is going to be is higher, well, then the employer that wants to stay competitive, that wants to keep good employees, then they have to go ahead and throw a number like that. $100,000 today is not the same as $100,000 10 years ago. Actually, it's not even the same as $100,000 pre-pandemic, to be honest with you. Just because the way inflation has impacted our quality of life, a lot of people can say that inflation is going back down and all of these different things that are happening. But at the end of the day, today I had a normal meal that I have all of the time, and I paid about 15% more than I did in November of last year, right? So if you're thinking about that, obviously the cost of living is definitely going to have an impact on that. And yes, I agree. I'm sure that Alexi, what he meant was, yes, everybody should make $100,000, but they're definitely not going to do it at Walmart. So find a way to make your $100,000 somewhere else. But shout out to the people that are at Walmart making 100,000. Just understand that that's probably the new minimum wage, which is
There is a warning here, right? It's a warning. First of all,
big.
when an entity like this, and I agree with everything that you guys are saying in terms of, employing retention, hiring, even looking for better quality, promoting the best people that are going to get. There's a lot of positive things that you can read into. And today, as you know, $100,000 is not what it used to be. So the first warning is signaling that they understand as an entity that $100,000 is not a lot of money anymore. And so if you wanted a full confirmation that prices are going to continue to be rising, here you have somebody who really has a pulse in the market. Like these guys really have their finger on the marketplace, and they're letting you know the people that we want to hold on to, the quality of the people that we need to run this. By the way, I spoke to one of the managers in one of the locations, and I said, "What does it mean to be a manager in this place?" He's like, "Listen, you're basically it's like being a doctor. You're on call. This is 7 days a week. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're obviously we work at normal hours. You do more because obviously your responsibility is greater. But if anything happens, it doesn't matter if it's 1 o'clock in the morning or you decided to go to church with a family. A call comes in, you have to take it. That's the responsibility at that level. You know what I mean? And by the way, I have no issues with that. I love people that make the choice to say, I want to play it at a higher level of responsibility. You're entitled to make more money. But to me, it's not just a question of, oh man, so great, right? Like people are going to get to 120. I'm trying to read into what does it mean to the average person when Walmart is saying, listen, we got to get these guys to $130,000 if it's possible. The average person working for Walmart is going to be making the minimum wage for them officially is also becoming $18 an hour. You know what I mean? So even the little guy coming in is going to have a little more, but obviously that still doesn't take you nowhere close to $100,000. And we talked about this before in the sense that $100,000 is definitely not what it used to be. And if you add to that the fact that we're going through these price changes so aggressively, so quickly, and then the final warning to everybody, just a little reminder: if you actually believe that all these new income wages increases are going to come out of the profit share that goes to every single one of their investors, or that
Your
is
price is going up.
you better believe that somebody's going to have to pay for this, and usually, unfortunately, it's the consumer. So I'm happy for the person that got to $100,000. I'm trying to see how this is going to trickle down on terms of pricing, because pricing is already a challenge. And if we have the kind of issues that we're going to have with oil and oil transportation, that alone is going to trigger for additional prices to go. Anything that deals with transportation obviously triggers new changes, and it's something to be concerned about. So as much as I agree with you, everybody in this country should be making, or at least get to a point on your life when you said, "Hey, I found a way to make $100,000, even if it means I'm working very hard at this level." Which again, there's nothing wrong with somebody working. I don't struggle with the idea of somebody telling me, "No, listen, but you got to work very hard to." I'm expecting to be something that's going to require a little more, but that still won't be enough money. It is a warning for every single one of us, a reminder that things are going to continue to be more expensive than they always used to be. So good news, and again, something to digest and think about. You know what I mean?